Welcome back. It's your man Wise, and today I have a great video to share with you guys. Stephen A. Smith spazzes out on the Democrats for misconstruing his takes. He's sick and tired of their lies. He's sick and tired of the foolishness. He's sick and tired of them taking Trump's quotes out of context and lying. And he's calling them out for it, and they're upset. This is phenomenal. Before we get into the video, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. And before we get into this video, we must have a word from our sponsor, Childlight Candles. Please support Childlight Candles today. Childlight Candles is a veteran-owned organization. The candles are great. They're 16-ounce candles. They're big, 100% soy, completely organic. These candles are amazing. Childlight Candles, fragrances lit for the kingdom. Get you a candle today. Matter of fact, get you 5, get you 10. Buy 1, 2, 3 for you. Share them, give them as gifts. They're great candles. You won't regret it. Let's get into the video.
Still to come right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Did you hear Donald Trump's comments on a, quote, bloodbath if he's not reelected? I've got several thoughts on that matter, plus calls, tweets, and then some up next. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. I want to take a moment to get into a little politics because there was a website called The Spun that released an article about me, and it was entitled, quote, Stephen A. accuses the media of being unfair to Donald Trump. The subject of the article was a post, essentially one that I tagged to a video that was released by Elon Musk on a speech that Trump was giving the other day. And when I responded and tagged Elon Musk's video, here is what I said. Based purely on this video, if it is accurate, then it would be true. It seems real Donald Trump's words were taken out of context. Reading the headlines, I've read, fair is fair. I posted this in response to the owner of Tesla and X, the one and only Elon Musk himself, saying, quote, legacy media lies, end quote, in a post highlighting media criticism of Trump's speech. That was in reference to Trump's comment Saturday at an auto industry rally in Dayton, Ohio, y'all. An auto industry rally in Dayton, Ohio. One thing Trump did say was this. Listen for yourself.
China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
What did I do? The fact of the matter is, when you watch the headlines talking about Donald Trump, they were mischaracterizing his comments. Yes, he said what he said, but it was taken completely out of context because he was talking about the auto industry and business with China and how if he's not elected, it's going to be problematic in terms of doing business with China as it pertains to the auto industry. I don't take it back. I ain't backing up 1 inch. What the hell is going on here? Let me tell y'all something.
Before he goes there, he's 100% right. And wow, I cannot believe that I am agreeing with Stephen A. Smith. mainstream media lies. They took, it's going to be a bloodbath, and if I don't win, it's going to be a bloodbath. They took that and they ran with that. They did not play the 60 seconds prior to when he was discussing about China building car manufacturing plants down in Mexico and trying to utilize the deal that we have with Mexico and Canada where you can sell products into our country at a very, very affordable rate when it comes to the tariffs. They want to utilize that. Now, at the same time, I also think there should be a conversation had with the Mexican government as well about allowing China to come in and build those plants. But at the same time, I understand Mexico because I'm assuming that these are going to bring a ton of jobs down there for Mexicans. So to an extent, I can't hate them. But when it comes to mainstream media lies, and the American people are starting to wake up, especially the younger ones. Now, obviously, we have a plethora of older people who believe in mainstream media. And they take whatever it is that they say for the gospel. They do. I know I've talked to too many people, and they're like, hey, CNN said it, it has to be true. MSNBC said it, it has to be true. And they just believe it, and you can't tell them that what these people are telling them isn't true. And they won't take the time to go actually look at the full clip and make a judgment or an assessment on their own. They won't do that. So the fact that Stephen A. is just calling it out, I can appreciate and respect this brother here. I appreciate it.
Really getting sick and tired of people mischaracterizing my quotes. This is the beauty of having my own platform and saying what I want to say and what I need to say, only for this perspective of quoting me accurately and contextualizing what I say accurately. Then do what you want. But any given time that I want to, when you mischaracterize what I say, I'm going to come back at your ass. That's what I'm going to do. Let me be very, very clear. For all of you Democrats out there that swear up and down I'm some damn Trump supporter because I call it like I said. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I didn't vote for Trump in 2020, and I damn sure ain't gonna vote for him in 2024. And if you really, really want my history, let me take it a step further. I voted for Michael Dukakis versus H.W. Bush, even when he tried to hoodwink everybody and use those Willie Horton ads that ultimately worked for him. I voted for Bill Clinton, not once but twice. I voted for Al Gore. That's the first time I heard about, what is it, leaning chads at the voting booth? Hanging chads, rather. I don't know this stuff, but I voted for Al Gore. Yes, I did. I voted for John Kerry. Yes, I did. And you damn right I voted for Barack Obama, not once but twice. And I voted for Hillary Clinton. And I voted for Joe Biden, despite the crime bill leading to mass incarceration for minorities in this country, although it was entirely his fault because you had the Congressional Black Caucus pushing him to do it. But he bragged about how it was his bill, until it wasn't politically expedient for him to do so. I've been voting for Democrats, but hey, I'm a fair-minded individual. And when Republicans make sense, I'm going to give him credit for it.
Now, what he has just told you, and I appreciate his honesty, but what he just told you is he's been voting blue no matter who for the better part of 20-some-odd years that he's been able to vote. How's that been working out for the black community? He just told you that he voted for Bill Clinton, who signed the 1994 crime bill into law. He told you he voted for Al Gore, whose people are known to be stark racist, allegedly. He told you he voted for Barack Obama, who 8 years was in office, did absolutely nothing for black people, and actually ran the country into a ground. We're talking about 23% unemployment rates. Everybody's insurance just went through the roof. During that time frame, because of that, man, it was costing me $12,000 a year to have my entire family insured when Obamacare kicked in. That was like, in my opinion, one of the worst bills. It hurt me and my family extremely, extremely bad. Then he tells you that he voted for Hillary Clinton, the man that called people that look like he and I super predators. Then he turned around and he tells you that he voted for Joe Biden, who wrote the 94 crime bill. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I don't want my kids going to school in a racial jungle. Poor kids are just as smart as white kids. So what he's telling you is I've been voting blue no matter who, because that's what a lot of old black folks been doing for decade upon decade upon decade. And they don't even know their history. They don't know the history of these people. There was a brother in the comment section the other day, talking about, what Trump is going to do and what Biden did do or did not do, so forth and so on, talking about how much the Democrats have done. It's in one of these videos. I just drop facts. I don't do nothing. I don't do the I feel type stuff, because what I feel doesn't matter. What I know, I just want to know the facts. That's all. He's a journalist. He should go and do his research. And he would find out that Republicans en masse have voted for every civil rights act en masse that's ever been codified to law. The reason why majority black people are voting Democrat right now, the 1964 and the 1965 Civil Rights Act, Lyndon B. Johnson voted for it. Not voted for it, but signed it into law. But if you actually go and look at the voter rolls, Republicans voted at an 80% clip. And if it would not have been for the Republicans, neither one of those bills would have been passed, because Democrats en masse voted against it. Those are facts. Go look it up. So a lot of us, we've been voting against our own interests and we don't even know why. You get these people championing for pregnancy termination. Name me a people that have been responsible for their own genocide. We've literally deleted 20 million people. Name me a people. Name me a community. Name me a group of people in the history of mankind that have been responsible for their own genocide. But yet black people keep voting for these fools. And people like Stephen A. won't take the time. He a journalist, but won't take the time to do his own daggone research. And then he gets on a national platform and tells people, I've been voting as politically lazily as you possibly could. That is the problem with a lot of the brothers and sisters. We are politically lazy. You ask them why they've been voting the way they've been voting, they can't tell you why. And whatever it is, whatever they do come up with is a lie from the mainstream media, DNC propaganda machines. It's flat out ridiculous. But let's keep going.
When they're right about something, I'm going to give them credit for it. There's plenty of Republicans other than Trump that I would have voted for, and I wouldn't have apologized for it, because I don't happen to disagree with every conservative policy. But just so we're clear, I'm a fiscal conservative and I am a social liberal, unapologetic about it. What does that have to do with y'all not telling the truth? See, at the end of the day, let's just call it what it is. Trump is handing it to y'all. All you Democrats out there are walking around acting like it's somebody else's fault that in the year 2024, you're begging a soon-to-be 82-year-old incumbent to run for re-election and win for you, because you haven't had a damn soul that can take them. 4 indictments, 91 counts, 2 impeachments, civil suits against them, elevating above $400 million. And he is whipping y'all ass. That is a fact. He secured the GOP nomination. You got him ahead in all the polls as we speak. You've got him elevated, according to the polls, in a world of Hispanics and blacks, more so than ever before. Not to say that those numbers are going to be exorbitant, but it'll be just enough to get him reelected. And because I'm sitting here and pointing out to you that you're getting in your own way by trying to fabricate or embellish stories in such a fashion where you could easily get caught, exposed for your miscalculations or your flat-out lies, and something that he is going to use to his advantage to get reelected. I'm wrong. I'm wrong because I'm calling out how you don't know how to beat them. That's the problem. I'm no political aficionado. But I've been on the record saying I'd love to go against Trump in a debate. You know how embarrassing that is that I could say that? Because he beat y'all. You can't beat him. You can't beat him. You're trying everything. You're engaging in lawfare. You keep coming up with stuff. It's Russian collusion 1 minute. It's civil cases the next. We got a district attorney in the state of New York going after him for paying hush money to a former porn star. You really think that's going to stop him from getting reelected? You've got tens of millions of people who are already on the record saying they would vote for him if he were a convicted felon and put in a zebra suit and behind bars. And the best you could do is say Stephen A. Smith is supporting him, is coming to his defense. That's the best you can do because I'm pointing out how something's not going to work. Newsflash. He is taking it to y'all in such a way that it's become a bit embarrassing. It's that simple. Not only is he taking out DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie and Vivek Ramaswamy, he's also taking out President Biden before our very eyes. The momentum keeps dissipating. I'm not happy about that because I believe that a Trump presidency could potentially cause civil war in this country. That's my personal belief based on his behavior because I believe he will be on a vengeance tour and he won't be governing. He'll be exacting revenge instead of being presidential and being the leader of the free world for all of America. That's my belief.
What's going on right now? We literally have an administration that have weaponized every aspect of the government to go after a political opponent. What do you think is happening right now?
But that does not mean I'm not going to point out when you're doing something that's to your detriment that is not going to lead to beating him. The truth is the truth. He's smoking the Dems right now. After he smoked every GOP rival they could find. He looks like he is destined for the White House.
Without a doubt, he's definitely destined for the White House.
All Stephen A. is sitting here saying, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it?
Nothing.
Because right now, he's giving it to y'all. It's worse than what LeBron James and Steph Curry do to opponents. Or what Patrick Mahomes just did to a bunch of people. Trump is doing that to the Dems because in the year 2024, the liberal side of our political stratosphere, the ones whom some are called progressives, are relying on an 82 yield to come save the day. And I'm saying, what if the momentum continues to show this? Y'all just gonna stand there and let Biden fall? Y'all ain't gonna do anything? Y'all ain't gonna get Kamala Harris in as your nominee? You ain't gonna get
she can't win
in as your nominee? You ain't gonna get somebody else in as your nominee? Do something, anything. If it was anybody else in any other profession, y'all would say, try something, anything. Y'all just standing still, again, getting your ass kicked. You wanna accuse Stephen A. of saying something? Accuse me of that. I dare anybody to deny it based on what we've been seeing.
Wow. Stephen A. went in on him, but I can appreciate his candor and I appreciate his honesty. And he's 100% right. The problem with the left is that their policies are so bad, they can't come out here and say, hey, we're running on X, Y, and Z. They can't come out and do that because the policies are terrible. So what they have to do is they got to hide the policies. They got to hide, their true intentions. And they just got to come after and attack Donald Trump because they know their policies are on shaky foundation. If people actually knew what they were attempting to do, even the people that consider themselves, quote unquote, Democrats wouldn't vote for these fools. That's why they got to underhandedly do everything that they do. Most of their policies get implemented. Think about what happens at the school system. They implement all of this foolishness at the school systems. They don't come out and say, hey, this is what we're doing this year. They don't come out and do that. They don't do that. You find that out when your kid comes home and tells you, hey, my teacher put me in a dress. You find that out when you come home, when your kid comes home and say, my teacher said that I could be a boy or a girl or both. That's what they do. When you look at what's going on right now with the Tyson's company, and they're about to hire over 50,000 illegal immigrants, and in the midst of all of that, they're firing American citizens. The Democrats can't stand on that. So when this happened, that story came out, and the next thing you know, they like, hey, we got to cut this bloodbath. Trump said if he wins, it's going to be a bloodbath. Take everything that he said completely out of context. But at the same time, American people are starting to wake up. They're starting to realize that that's all these people do. So now people are saying, you know what? Oh, they said this. Okay, let me go look at the real footage. Just as Stephen A. showed you. Let me go look at the full video in context that they're talking about. Oh, he didn't really say it. Like, he didn't say that. Anybody with a brain can look at that and say, okay, hey. And everybody knows that anybody that's in the financial space, that's in the business space, you know, when a company or an industry gets just smashed and swatted, they call it a bloodbath because money and jobs are being lost. That's been a term that's been used in this country from a business perspective for decades. But again, the left doing what they do, the propaganda machines doing what they do, and the American people are starting to spartan up. See, if we didn't have independent platforms out there and people like, you know, Greg from Black Conservative Perspective or Officer Tatum or Matt Walsh or Jason Whitlock or the list goes on of those brothers out there that are doing great work, shining the light into the darkness and really refuting the lies that come from the left. If we didn't have that, we'd have a whole lot of people that are just sheep and believing all of this foolishness. But thankfully, there's some alternative options out there to a CNN, to an MSNBC. There's some alternative platforms. And because of that, they can't just lie to you like that. Even though they still do, but it's not nowhere near as effective as it used to be 20, 25 years ago. Now, again, like I said, you do have older people that they're not on these independent platforms. They're not on YouTube, Rumble. They're not listening to podcasts. They're not really there. They watch CNN, Fox, and MSNBC. There is a demographic of people that's kind of where they are. Although, when I look at my analytics, I see there's a whole heck of a lot of you guys out there that are watching and you guys are in tune, but I would assume that the masses, and when I say this, and I don't want you guys to take offense, the guys that, the men and women that do watch my channel and watch some of these other channels out there that have, y'all come to that conclusion early on, and you guys are well averse to this technology. I appreciate you, and I hope you guys are sharing this type of content. I hope that is the case. But I know that there are a large amount of people that are not watching independent content, and they're only getting their news from the mainstream liberal propaganda machines. And that's a problem. And I think that anytime that if that's all you get, typically you're being misinformed. I'm not even gonna say typically. If all you're doing is watching CNN and MSNBC, you are being misinformed. See the brother with the video I did the other day with the black Trump supporter versus the liberal, white liberal guy who, even with the facts, he wouldn't even listen to facts. He wouldn't even listen. It was so bad. I was like, this dude is so far gone. There's a lot of people out there just like that brother there. So far gone. But I'm going to get out of here, man. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. Keep God first in your life, America first, and I'm going to catch up with you all next time. Peace.